Hi guys, this is Warwick from Casual Chess, back for another 5-minute game today. Looks like I'm playing white against an opponent from the Philippines. 1309 versus 1384. We started with d4, d5, and we're going to play the Slav defense. Or the Slav defense, I'm not actually sure how to pronounce that. Now I must admit to not knowing perfectly how to play this variation, but we will start with some pretty ordinary development, and it looks like it's going to turn into kind of like a Roy Lopez defense situation, lining up through the middle. My opponent plays Bd6, he's expecting me to take. I'm actually going to refuse to do that, and I'm going to allow the doubled pawns on the F file. I intend to castle on that side, and I do want to hold down the center, so we will see. Decent development to start off with. I'm going to play Bd3, trying to deal with my opponent's bishop. He instead plays his knight to e7 to back up that bishop. I'm simply going to allow that, doesn't bother me whatsoever. Rook e1. Okay, my opponent plays a6. We'll go a4, kind of to aggress upon that queen side over there. All to be expected so far, not too worried about the position. Okay, so he's played Rook c8. I don't really understand the purpose of that move at this stage. I think what I'll do is I'll play a slower move, something like Rook e2. After Rook e2, he plays Queen c7. Again, not understanding the point of these moves at the moment. Rook ae1. Okay, now might be the time to come for a bit more of an aggressive move. We'll play Ne5. Okay. F takes e5, and we've got quite a good attack, I think, on the the king side. In fact, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a good attack, but my opponent certainly is weakened over that area of the board. It may be contingent on me rerouting my knight. I certainly don't like my opponent's knight there where it is at the moment. So I'll weaken my own king side to play g4, dealing with that knight. Now, if my opponent plays knight to h4, he's in real trouble because I've got queen to g3. So there's nowhere for that to go. He sees that, he drops back. f4, again weakening my own king side of the board here, but looking to advance down along the F and E files, putting some threats into place. I really hope I can make these tangible for my opponent. He's definitely under a bit of trouble. So we'll see, what can we do here? I'm very tempted to play something like f5, but f5 retakes, retakes, retakes. I may have to begin stacking up on the F file rather than the E file with these rooks to make something along the F file tangible. And this is interesting, he looks like he wants to trade queens off the board. I am not going to allow this actually. I'll play Rook e3 to defend my queen. If takes, retakes. And I must say, I'm happier with my position than my opponent's position. I'd rather be playing as white here. Pretty even on time. And we're certainly not out of the woods yet, although I do have a space advantage, and I believe my rooks are more active. My opponent's pieces are still in the game. So, Rook df3, as I was stating before, we are going to line up on the F file. Potentially look to play something like F5 takes, retakes. Starting to question whether this is in fact the right choice. So King G2. We're going to play a couple of slow waiting moves for the moment. Struggling to take advantage of the king side. Okay, my opponent plays Rook C4. No problems here with Rook C4. We'll simply play Rook D3 to defend the pawn on the D4 square. I'm going to give up on the threats I was trying to make along the F file, which is unfortunate, but so be it. This is a move which I was expecting. Now, what is next? I don't really want to take my knight off the board, but to play something like Na2 might be a risk that we'll have to take at the moment. Na2, I'm expecting something like Rook A8. If Rook A8, then... oh no, we don't get it. We don't get Rook A8. My opponent plays back Rook BC8. And... not sure what we do here. Rook C3, if Rook takes, pawn retakes. We can certainly marshal some defenses here. Now we have to drop back to D1 to prevent the knight from being taken on C1 if I'm forced to drop back there, which I was going to be. But no, we'll play Nc3 now. Unfortunately now my knight is just as trapped in the corner of the board as my opponent's, so forgetting those pieces for the moment, I'm going to ignore the pawn on D5 and I'm going to try and get into the game. Or am I? No, I think that the pawn on the D4 square is probably too crucial. We'll defend that. Expecting now pawn takes on F4, and then I'll simply play king to F3. Okay, we don't get that move. I'll play king F3 anyway. Playing defensively here, H5, H3. I wouldn't mind seeing H4 being played, that would lock down the position a bit, wouldn't bother me. Okay, we take on king takes F4. Retake here. Now that pawn on G4 is crucial because it prevents my opponent's knight from going to either F5 or any other square. None of this is causing me a concern at the moment. We are running out of a bit of time though. Really should have made a better move here. Rook takes off the board, I'll retake again. My opponent's knight is blocked from going to the square of GF. Oh, okay, sorry, I better focus now. We may unfortunately have to resign. There is very little time remaining on the clock for us here. I don't see a way to get back in the game. Too much time for my opponent, not enough time for me. Unfortunately, we may have to resign. We'll play king takes D3 and look, it's really all over here. We'll just allow the time to run out. Good win for my opponent. That is unfortunate. So. Okay, he wants to play another game. We'll give him that opportunity. Playing as the black pieces now. E4, E5, D4. I must say I hate this opening, so I'll try and catch him off guard. The Danish Gambit is a good opening if you know how to play it. I, unfortunately, do not. Oh, damn it, clicked the wrong piece. Bd6 was not the move I intended to make. Okay, so be it, we will continue. H3 Nc6. So my strategy is going to be to get as many pieces off the board as I can manage in the shortest time frame as possible so that I can come back from this stupid opening. Blocking in my own D pawn. Queen takes. Bishop checks. Okay, and we've got a reasonable recovery, I would say, from that bad start. Not ideal. We'll take that piece. As I said, getting as many pieces off the board as possible. D6, freeing the bishop currently on C8. Be6. And hopefully we can come back from this. My opponent plays knight to D2. And what's next? Okay. Play Nf6, potentially looking to reroute the knight through the D7 square and then to the C5 square. Okay. Not really finding this to be a major issue. I could have played this better, but we will drop back Nd7. Rook B8, protecting the pawn on B7. Nc5 threatening the queen. Not to present a really tangible threat, but simply to get my pieces back in the game a bit. Okay. C6, looking to put my knight potentially on the B6 square, which would actually line up with check on my opponent's king. Struggling to find something concrete here. I still feel like we're coming back from being inhibited in that opening there. Whew. Alright. I'm looking at something like h4 check, but after h4 check we simply have pawn to g3. Doesn't give me the opportunity to retake that knight there, so we will play queen b6. If taking the... Oh, that is a big error from my opponent. He must not realize that this is actually a double check. N takes d3, check. And in fact this may be game over. I don't see many opportunities for my opponent to flee or run away. If he moves to g3, we simply have queen to f2 check, and he's actually resigned. So, alright, unfortunately I won't be able to play another game. It's time for me to go and do some other work for today. But hopefully you enjoyed that video. If you did, please leave it a like. If you didn't, please let me know what I could do to improve. I won't run an analysis on that one because I think it's quite obvious what happens next. After something like king g3, queen check, there's no opportunity for my opponent's king to move to g4. h4, f2. He's got to go to the king h2 square, and from here nf F4 is pretty deadly. There may be some way of defending this, rook hg1, but what about this move here, nh5? There's definitely a way to close him down there, and too many pieces off the board. He's thrown away a piece. I've got that advantage back, so I think that's simply why my opponent resigned. I'm not sure whether there was a forced mate or not there. Maybe that's a puzzle for anyone watching, but yeah, enjoy that if you'd like to go for it. Okay guys, well look, I'll call it quits there. We've played 2 games today. I'll see you in the next one. If you liked the video, leave it a like. If you didn't, let me know what I can do to improve. I feel like I've already said this, but I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks guys, bye.